Live from the Action Sports Canopy studio set, this is the Action Sports Show.
It's time for the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports, featuring Jim Holfus and Dan McGranahan. And now,
you're on, guys.
We're on, guys. We're on, guys. Folks, welcome to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Hey, if you're just joining us, this is the spot each and every week where you catch anything and everything in the action sports world. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Holtis. This is Dan McGranahan.
Also known as Tickle Feather. What is it?
You forgot it already?
I forgot it. I got a new nickname.
Special Indian. Feather Ruffler.
Feather Ruffler.
FeatherRuffler.com. You can go check out his website for more information. But hey, man, happy Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't even get tacos today. Usually I head up on Tuesdays. I'll head up to Mike's Barbecue up the street here, and I'll grab some. I don't do tacos because I'm not doing any bread right now, but I'll just I'll throw some taco meat on.
But luckily, that's you can get like a breadless tortilla.
Not at that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is it really a taco if there's no shell?
No, but I mean, when I was doing the breadless thing, I would still do a tortilla here and there, and not a huge deal because man, a life without tacos is not living, my friend. But hey, man, well, let's just jump right into it here. A lot of stuff happened over the weekend here, and let's dig into outdoor motocross. Ken Roczen goes 1-1 in the 450 division over Dungey. Tomac gets third in the overall. Anderson gets up on the box, one of the things. Pretty cool. And Savacci dominates and goes 1-1 in the 250s.
There's definitely some action. I mean, I'm pumped to get into some motocross. You just get to the end of Supercross and you're ready for it to be over. When you're a rider,
it's time for change.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I get it. Dungey's better than everybody. Next chapter, please.
But a different form. And is it just is Roczen a better guy out there, or was he just riding a high out of Supercross and took it right into outdoor?
Well, Roczen's in the zone, and Roczen's one of those kids that you don't want to give him momentum. He's a momentum kid, a momentum racer, and right now he has a lot of momentum. We've also seen a guy like a Justin Barcia who last year got some momentum and then started crushing people. There are a lot of these guys that are really capable of winning, and that's why everybody talks about it, but it's about finding that mysterious momentum, and right now Roczen's got the momentum, and it's definitely paying off.
How about Trey Kennard overall top 5? It's cool to see.
That's very cool to see, yeah. Yeah, Trey's, we know Trey's fast, but I think Trey's racing for a ride right now.
You think?
That's what I think. I think that, it's important for him to find out what he's going to do next year. I think it's a contract year for him. Obviously, I don't know any of this for a fact, but you see these racers and you see when they're racing for a ride, and when they're racing for a ride, it's on.
And you know what? It was there wasn't a bunch of huge injuries for Trey this year. And so you'd think he had the opportunity, but didn't see any wins and quite the results that I expected him to have.
I think we all expected Trey to be ready to battle for a podium position all year long, expected him to maybe snag a win or two because he's that fast. He's that capable. He's that, aggressive. But no, he was out of sorts. Speaking of out of sorts, though, we saw James Stewart struggling out of sorts all year long, and then gets to, motocross and flings off the side of a berm into the flats of the track. And what I want to say out there to AMA is this guy clearly does need Adderall, okay, just to function. So get him back on the juice so that we can have our James back. Obviously, he can't seem to keep it on the track without it.
I still say we'll see James back.
I mean, I hope so. I'm such a diehard James fan, but it's just one of those things where, you can't continue at this stage of your career to hurt yourself and struggle and crash and crash and crash. It just can't go down like that. You don't see people really rise out of that. Eventually, it beats them down, and it feels like it could beat them down soon.
I didn't get to see the race, but I'm sitting here looking through the results, and a name that I don't see anywhere is Chad Reed. Is he not racing?
I'm under the impression, don't know this for a fact, but I think that he's actually going to do some overseas races or some things like that. So, Chad's going to go. He's going to keep racing, but I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls the kind of Supercross focus for the next 3 years of his career.
He's obviously not committing to the points championship if he's not at round 1.
Right. So
maybe he races an event here and there that he wants to race, type of thing, in between these other ones. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. It's interesting. Hangtown's an interesting race for these guys. The big time national tracks, the Red Buds, and some of those tracks. Those guys really, those are really spectacular tracks. Hangtown is a bit of a Cali hard-packed, track.
Yeah.
It's not the dream track, that's for sure.
Right.
And
of course, we're coming into Glen Helen this upcoming weekend.
Glen Helen is an interesting, it's kind of can be that as well, but, sometimes you get the circumstances right, and it creeps up into that sort of dream track scenario. But, man, how about that huge 160 million foot triple that they put on out there on the track that the boys are gapping? That's going to be pretty interesting to watch these dudes hanging it out that big and that far.
Is everyone hitting it?
I think pretty much everybody's hitting it. It's got a long run up to it, so it's not like an issue to hit it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you can over jump it because it kind of comes into one of those slow it down bowl corners shortly after that. Not quite a bowl corner, but it yeah. Anyways, it's a step up, so it's not like you're tripling that far. You're tripling up.
Yeah.
Everybody's down to triple up.
Good weekend for the Star Racing Yamaha team. 3 out of the top 5 spots right there.
Star Racing Yamaha's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pumped. Even our boy Plessinger, who didn't end up on the podium.
He got one podium in one of the heats.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even he was up there, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to hear Martin on the podium, calling out Toyota Escondido.
Yeah,
as one of his sponsors.
Right?
I was pumped to see him do that, and I was pumped to hear Aaron calling the boys from Toyota out also. But Savachi really...
I was just going to say, before we go on, what's your take on Savachi going 1-1?
Well, it's interesting. He really set a tone that he's very serious. I didn't expect that out of him, frankly, so... He really surprised me with that. I was actually very curious to see, of the PC guys, I was very curious to see what happened to Austin Faulkner. He's a super fast kid. This is his first professional race. I think he ended up 6th or 8th overall. Showed some speed. He qualified 4th or something. He's someone I definitely want to see what happens with him because he's young. He's like just turned 17. You would love him. Your son would absolutely love him because he shreds on a scooter.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Can backflip.
Sick.
Whirlybird 540s, whatever you want to do on a scooter, he can do it. He's just a talented kid.
We got another scooter fan that we're going to talk to here in a little bit.
The generation of kids that are being raised right now by your and my generation are the most talented kids that have ever walked the face of the earth, if you ask me.
Correct.
It's a big statement.
I agree. So, hey, let's move on. Lucas Oil just went to Utah at the former Miller Motorsports Park. Saturday, we had Bryce Menzies, Rob McCachran, our guy Doug Fortin up on the podium there Saturday in the Pro 4 division. Rob Mack, Jeremy McGrath, Patrick Clark in the Pro 2s, which was great start to the weekend for Jeremy McGrath. That would turn out to be a phenomenal weekend with Brooks, buddy Ryan Beat second, and Brad DeBerti in the Pro Lights. Now Sunday, Kyle LeDuc back on top. He's had a rough season thus far. Had problems with the truck all season long, and so he gets back up on top. Carl Renazetter second, Rob McCachran third, and Pro 2 on Tuesday. Jeremy McGrath qualifies it on the pole and battling with Bryce and Carl. Two of the best there are on the planet, and gets the big win, which coincidentally his other win was last year, Sunday at Utah. Whoa. He probably likes that track.
Heavy. That track likes him something. You know what? I hope that it's actually we're pulling for Jeremy, and I hope that it's a it's just a step that we're going to see a lot of out of Jeremy.
Yeah.
I hope that it's what we can expect from him for the next several rounds, because that guy's a bad dude. He's plenty capable.
I've got Chris flying signs at me. I have
Chris
no
is talking
idea
to me.
what he's
You just
doing.
stay away from that conversation. Don't worry about it. You don't need to worry about that.
Radio show. Okay.
Yeah.
And Pro Lights on Sunday. Official results are under review. There are no official results yet, so there must have been some rub in his racing out there. Hey, wanted to give a big shout-out also, SRD Nights, the off-road takeover last Wednesday at Belching Beaver. We were happy to be a sponsor of that, and a bunch of people came out. Over 90 cars and trucks, off-road vehicles and toys on display out there. Trailers from Race Desert, Mad Media, and all that kind of stuff. Tons of raffles and giveaways. A huge turnout to the first stop on that deal. Monthly gig. So really, really cool.
Nice. Those things are fun to go to. Go hang out, shake some hands, check out some vehicles, have some fun. Nobody's like in that teed up mode. Everybody's like relaxed and just
exactly.
It's cool. It's a cool environment. It's a lot of fun to go to those things.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Well, hey, we also had the opening rounds of Red Bull Global Rallycross out there in Arizona, and Tanner Faust sweeps rounds 1 and 2 to kick off the 2016 season, and we did see a podium out of one of those by Brian Deegan. We know that's a big deal for him this year. Not committing to the full Lucas season because the Global Rallycross is what him and his sponsors are committing to going for the points race. So pretty cool to see Brian on the podium right out of the gate. And Tanner Faust, wow, a lot of talent out there. That's talk about making a statement right away.
I mean, you got to believe that Deegan's plans go beyond Rallycross, that he wants to springboard into a car ultimately. And, we've heard all this story about him spending time in North Carolina, maybe getting a house out there or something,
Yeah. Is it for him? Is it for Haley? Is it for both?
Well, absolutely both.
Dad's not ready to hang it up yet.
No, not even close. But I think that racing some Rallycross is great for the sponsors. He's got working with NOS now, and I think that's an environment they'd really like to have some presence. And we know the truck thing. He's done the truck thing. He's good at the truck thing. He succeeded there, but what is he going to do? Continue to accomplish the same thing?
Multiple championships already. The guy's already laid it down.
He's got to challenge himself,
yeah,
and that's what he's doing, and I absolutely respect that.
Absolutely. So kudos to him. And, dude, so announced today, or I think it was today, the WSL announces that the agreement in principle to acquire a majority stake in the Kelly Slater Wave Company.
It's very interesting information.
Wow.
Funny story is that one of the companies that I read this from also did an April Fool's joke where they said, Kelly Slater's Wave Pool to be on the WSL, an event at the WSL next year, because everybody's so hyped and mysterious about this thing. And I actually kind of fell for it a little bit, and I was like, what? No way, that's crazy. So it turned out to be an April Fool's thing. A couple seconds later, I realized what it was.
But was it that far-fetched?
But now it seems like it wasn't that far-fetched.
And now it seems like it's potentially a fact.
Now, what they haven't said is they have not said that they're going to add it to the tour. But what they have said, which I think if you read between the lines, I guess is the way to say that, between what they haven't said and how they're saying what they haven't said and how they're saying what they have said, that's the trick to reading between the lines, people. It feels to me like they want to set these up across, because they're basically an event company. They want to put on contests. That they want to take these wave pools and set them up across the U.S. and across other nations in inland spots and hold potentially a wave pool series unrelated to the WSL as we know it, because they have these different. They have the big wave tour. They have two different levels within the WSL, two different tours. They have all this stuff going on, and it seems like to me like this is an addition for them.
Tour stop Ohio.
Absolutely. Tour stop Ohio. Tour stop, Michigan.
Wherever.
Whatever. I don't even know states that don't have coastal areas because they mean nothing to me. You're dead to me if you don't have an ocean.
Well, Kelly Slater said it's beyond my dreams that this wave will be a canvas canvas for the global advancement, basically, of the great sport. And the partnership with the WSL, he says, will democratize surfing and provide this incredible training for athletes as well as these aspiring surfers in areas that do not have oceans.
Does somebody want to explain why he used the word democratized?
He didn't. I just ad-libbed that.
No, it's right there. I read it earlier in the deal.
Oh, I put it there. No, I'm kidding. Big word, Jim.
I get it. He can bring surfing to people that don't just live on the coast. Everybody,
but he could say,
has a chance,
I can bring surfing to people that just don't live on the coast. Democratize. What's he saying there?
I don't know. It's just funny when these professional athletes try to show off their homeschool education.
Look at the big words on Brad.
It's Kelly Slater. He's so wealthy, and he just got wealthier. That's the bottom line. Good for him.
So more power to wealthier. Him. So it said majority stake. Is it the whole thing, or is he still holding on a piece?
Clearly, he's still vested, and why wouldn't you be? If someone like the WSL is going to come in and right now say your product is worth $10 million, and they're going to come in and buy $8 million of it, and they're going to make it worth $100 million, and then your $2 million that you have left is now suddenly worth $30 million, which is like $28 million more than, plus you already got. It's just crazy. It's a smart business move on Kelly's part, and I hope that it goes that way for him.
So, hey, man, we got to go take our first break already. A lot of good stuff happened when we come back, man. UTV racer, young gun, Seth Quintero is going to join us live. The Action Sports Show. Don't go away.
Seth Quintero.
Rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? With my name, you should know the best place you can go. Toyota of Escondido.
You already know that Toyota of Escondido has a huge selection of new and used Toyotas, right? But I bet they have a few more things you didn't even know, like a certified collision center. If you're ever in an accident, get your Toyota fixed with the proper parts it was meant to have at Escondido's only Toyota certified collision center.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
Looking to save money? Toyota of Escondido has a full refinance department. Keep your current car no matter the make or model and let Toyota of Escondido's refinance team help lower your monthly payment or current interest rate. Visit ToyotaEscondido.com and click the refinance tab.
Toyota of Escondido.
ToyotaEscondido.com. Shop for your new Toyota and much, much more.
Hi, I'm UFC Bantamweight Champion Dominic Cruz, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido.
You're on, guys.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. Hey, want to remind you, if you're on the website, to follow the social media all the way across the board. It's at TE Action Sports. That's at TE Action Sports. And make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can have all this cool stuff automatically funneled into your ears each and every week. Dan McGranahan, we've got our first guest on the show, man. This kid is just tearing it up out there. He's already a champion.
Multiple champion.
Yeah?
Yeah, works and young gun. Tell me well, let's introduce him before we get into this.
Seth Quintero. Welcome to the show.
The Seth Quintero.
The.
We're adding the to the front of your name.
Hashtag V.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've actually been watching the show a lot, studying, see what I need to say, what I don't need to say. And,
amazing.
How much do I owe you for that?
What a pro. No, this kid's a pro.
No, he is.
I mean, I should have known. They don't throw Red Bull hats on just anybody.
Right.
Yeah. So he's obviously a pro.
And you've been hanging out here several times on the show, so we're just stoked that we were able to get you on and come in and talk to you and find out what's going on.
Yeah,
what makes the Seth Quintero tick?
That we will find out.
Yes, we will.
So give me the lowdown. Where are you from?
I'm from San Marcos, California.
Born and raised here?
Yeah.
Nice.
Only never moved. Always stayed here, local.
It's just weird when you say born. How old are you?
I'm 13. I'm not very
When you
old.
say born and raised to someone that's 13, it's like, so far, right?
Yeah.
I like to give him a hard time.
Yes.
So
Featherruffler.com is that website. Featherruffler.com.
So you go to school around here. What schools have you gone to? You're a total local boy. Give me the rundown.
Yeah, I go to Woodland right now, but I did go to Twin Oaks Elementary.
Okay.
And this year I'm actually going to high school, so I'll be going to Mission Hills. So I'm ready for that.
Cougars,
going into high school. Whoa.
No, the Grizzlies.
Oh, Grizzlies. That's
Yeah.
right. That's the school. We were at Mission Hills this weekend.
For the football.
Yeah, we did a little
deal?
football thing with my son at Mission Hills High School this weekend. So I got to see your guys' little stadium and meet some of the people. Pretty cool thing there. Apparently, it's pretty cool school.
Yeah, I did a good tour of that school, and I'm just amazed on like what's been coming out, like their new technology and everything that they've been doing. It's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Do they realize that they're going to have to let you go to some races here and there, or are they just going to have to figure it out along the way?
I'm hoping. I mean, I'll do a little bit of traveling, so I'm hoping that they'll okay with it and not kick me out of school for being gone all the time.
I think the trick is you just have your parents tell them that you're going to be leaving.
Yeah.
Just don't be a surprise. That's my
Don't tell them when you get back that you left.
right. So, how long have you been racing UTVs? I mean, you are. I'm sure you've grown up in the Southern California with your family, going to the deserts and all that kind of stuff, and that's probably how did that parlay into wanting to race, or how did that all go down?
I grew up racing quads. Me and my dad would do like
way long ago when you were a kid.
Yeah, when I was about like 4 years old, me and my dad would do desert races, and I did quads for a while until he got in a gnarly accident, and Mom said no more. And so Mom put me in a cage around 3 years ago, and ever since then I just kind of kept going with it.
Man.
So you've been on four wheels, which quads is actually a great feeder for getting into a UTV. I mean, you understand the inertia, you understand the feel a little bit. It's just a bigger version of it, more powerful, a little harder to control by just leaning.
Yeah.
But you make the adjustments. How was your first? Were you a natural with it? Did you have to take some driving courses? Like, how was your first sort of transition into the UTV?
My transition, I went from quads to UTVs, which was not too much of a difference because four wheels and trying to pick everything out. So my dad took me up to the hills one time and told me to take it easy, but it was kind of hard to take it easy because, I don't know, I like to go fast.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like to go fast.
Right?
Well, you know what?
Now, did you already have a four-wheeler or a UTV? Or?
No, my mom had bought me it for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
So I got that, and then we went out to the hills and kind of went and had fun.
What'd you start with?
Razor 170.
Nice.
What's a 170? Break some of this stuff down for me because, and for our listeners, so a Razor 170 is what? It's a single seat, dual seat.
It's
170 is that the
two-seater.
motor? What? Explain what kind of motor it has in it and the size.
It's a two-seater 170. So
it's basically like the full-size Razor 900 or 1000 you'd see shrunken down. It looks exactly the same, and they have classes. As a matter of fact, when we commentated the Lucas Regional Series, there was a class in there just for those.
Have you done some of the short course stuff yet?
I haven't done Lucas, but I do local series like the Dirt Series. That's all short course. And then I do the main series that I do is Works. That's more of like, say like you do Supercross and Nationals. It's more on the national side.
Yep. Gotcha. I'm familiar with Works, and Works is a fun course because it takes you into kind of a little bit of stadium type stuff sometimes. Then it sends you out in the desert and do a loop and
teaches a little bit of both aspects of the sport.
Dealing with lots of different terrain and yeah. So are you racing against kids your age? Like what's the class that you're racing in? The
class that I'm racing is a 700 production.
Okay.
It's from 12 to 15. I'm racing a 570 against a little bit bigger cars, 700s, because we had actually built our car, like preparing for the next year, and we didn't realize that we could have a bigger size motor, so just kind of stuck with it. So it's a little bit less power, but it's reliable.
Hey, well, and in desert racing, durability is such a huge component because as you've seen, I'm sure, people be breaking down when they're trying to get too much out of those motors.
Yeah.
Like they say to finish first you must finish.
Oh, Quasimodo.
Oh, Robbie Gordon.
Robbie Gordon. Is that a dig against Robbie?
No, he just likes to say that. But it's true. I mean, a lot of people say that, but it's definitely true. You know,
I'm just trying to get you in hot water with Robbie.
Get me like hotter water, like
It's already boiling in here.
yeah.
Have you got to meet some of the legends? Who do you really look up to as driver? You know, is it like the R.J. Andersons that really drive, you know, UTVs? Are you looking at some of the four by, they're like the truck drivers? Like, who do you look up to in your sport?
I really look up to RJ and Bryce. They're such good guys. They're such good mentors. They're like the fastest guys like I've ever seen, and they're actually let me come and hang out with them every once in a while. And I've known RJ for 2 years now, and he's just the coolest dude.
For sure. He's a great guy, and so is Bryce.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself on one of those XP Quintero edition XP3K deals? Have you visualized that a time or two?
I've dreamt about it a couple times.
I figured.
Now
as
you've
much.
driven the big boy. Didn't you just go for a rip in the 1000 or the turbo or something?
Yeah, I went out in the new turbo in Glamis and went and had some fun with the UFC fighters.
Yeah, you were driving around. Was it Dominic?
No, I was driving around Rowdy Beck.
Beck, yeah, Rowdy Beck. She's awesome. And then, of course, our guest Eric that was here last week. You were hanging with those guys out there.
Yeah, I had a peer pressure.
Was that Camp Razor or what was that?
No, it was just an off trip that we wanted to do.
Nice.
Is that one of the places you like to go? Is Glamis? Do you like dunes? What do you like to really go do? What's your like having the best time at?
I love going out to Glamis and just like being able to rip around with all my buddies and going in the car and go blasting some dunes.
See, because I was always more of a desert guy than a dune guy, so my choice is to go to like Ocotillo Wells versus drive 2 more hours to Glamis, just because that's where I grew up. Mm-hmm. But you like the duning, huh?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna say, you know, maybe someday you'll be in Doonies, but you'd have to. Some things would have to change for that to happen. But man, you really got a great thing going. We're excited watching this guy's career. You know, you're on Instagram. People want to check him out at Seth Quintero.
I used to see before I knew him, just see him everywhere, just going, "Who is this guy, man?" It's everywhere.
How do you spell your last name, and what is that? And what's it like to have a last name that starts with a Q?
I don't know. It's like if it's good on a shirt, I mean, that's always a benefit.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
You got him, Feather Ruffler.
I'm trying to throw some curveballs at him just to see how he does, because you're doing very well.
Thank you.
Just so you know, and the curveballs will possibly increase.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, for instance, you know what music's in your iPod right now?
No music, just country. It's my dad being the DJ all the time, and it's always country music. No matter where we are, it's always country music.
Knew I liked him.
Can you sing some country music? Because we've had a couple people come on the show that actually could sing some country music, and it's pretty impressive.
I don't think I can, actually.
All right. If you're scared.
All right, next time.
Bit.
But you do say you practice for our show, so next time you come on the show, maybe you practice up a country song?
Yeah, I'll rehearse a little bit before I come on.
Go back
next time.
and listen to the Aaron Plessinger show, and he broke out into song numerous times. It was great. We told him to do that on the podium in the next race that he wins.
He's
and
got
his
his
sponsors
dance.
will be all happy.
Yeah. He's got to do him and Malcolm got to do his dance next time, too.
Do you watch a bunch of moto? Like, what do you
Yeah.
Yeah. You're into it. You're a fan.
All racing, all action sports, all that.
All action sports.
Surf
I'm into
skates.
it all.
I know you're into scooters, too. We talked about this.
Yeah. I always go out and hang out with like my cousins and stuff, and we'll go to Escondido skate park and go mob around on scooters.
Have you gone to Pro Ride yet, though?
I have not.
He also is well aware of who our guest Chandler Dunn was and watches Chandler's cool videos and stuff all the time, too. So we're going to make a day trip one of these times.
So have you started making some videos of your own, even maybe not the XP level, but...
No, my sister will edit for me here and there, some Instagram clips, but no YouTube channel yet. I'm thinking about it.
All right. I'd like to see you get on something like that.
I wonder
do
if he'd
some
be
fun
like
stuff.
the heir to the XP videos.
You
the
say
next
that, but
one coming up, you know?
RJ's still so young. Like,
Right.
I don't see him really.
You got to wait a few years to.
Yeah.
I might have to take out
You
RJ
just need to
when
come
these
up with
races
your
are
own,
at.
probably.
But you know what? He's killing it in the short course truck. So at some point, maybe that really takes the priority. I don't know, but I mean, he's does some really cool stuff.
Yeah, he's fast.
What do you think? What do you think would happen if you tried to bang with a guy like that? Think you could keep in his dust?
I think I can get him at a 170. I might be able to get him there, but he's won so many races in 170. I don't even know how, but he's won a few. But I'm not at that level yet where I can keep up with the big guys, but I'm definitely striving for it.
Nice. Very nice. Have you had to race our girl Sarah Price yet?
Actually, I have.
Yeah?
I raced her at the UT World Championship, but I'll tell you what, she flew right by me.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had a co-pilot, one of my friends, Mia, UT Underground's daughter, and she came up to us, and we were slowing down for a bump, and she came in full speed and just nailed the thing. And she pulled up next to us and started honking at us. It was so funny. I'll remember that forever.
Yeah. She's a big fan of yours, too, by the way.
Oh, she's fast on dirt bike, like stupidly fast.
Oh, yeah.
I went and rode with her out in Paula, and I thought I could keep up with her, but there was no way I was keeping up with that one.
Yeah.
So you still do a little riding?
Yeah, I have an RM85 that I go and mob around sometimes.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right, so what's the girl situation?
No girls for me.
All right. All right. I was saving that as the potential curveball, but
My mom's over here yelling at me.
Mom's off stage yelling at any girls that might consider such a thing. So good luck with that.
Thank you.
Now, you really don't need that. You got so much going on for you, and you have such a bright future. The last thing you need is distractions. And I can tell you from a guy that's watched a lot of athletes go through the stages that you're going through that one of the biggest things you can do is not let yourself slip in any of those distractions that are out there. High school is definitely rich with distractions.
Plenty of time for that to come, man. You're on a mission, and you're doing a great job at what you're doing, you know?
So what is the goal for you? What is the goal? Let me rephrase that for you. What is the goal in 1 year, and what is the goal in 5 years?
In 5 years, I'll be, 18? So I'm hopefully going to drive in the Baja 500 or 1000. That's my strive for 5 years. In 1 year, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, keep progressing, and just keep seeing what I can do.
Nice. Very nice. Have you been down to Mexico much?
No, I actually just got my passport, so we're going to go down and watch some Lucas races.
Okay. All right. You're going to love Mexico. I'm sure your parents have told you plenty. It's a good time down there. It really is. And, you know, our boy Jim over here has spent a fair day or two in Mexico.
Yeah, and matter of fact, the last time was the Lucas races last year, and we're only a few weeks away. I believe it's the week after the Baja 500 this year, and be back down at Estero Beach. And man, year number one was crazy. I mean, you see how packed the stands are here. It was all full of just fans down there, and it was great. And I expect it to be even bigger now that they know what's coming.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Now the word's got out.
Yeah.
It's game on.
Like if it didn't before, right?
So who's the most people you've driven in front of so far?
I mean, I race with buddies, so it's really cool to go out and race with one of my main friends, Lincoln Leverton.
Okay.
We always go and battle one, two.
Okay.
Maybe a couple of door rubs here and there, but it's always fun at the end. We always give each other high fives, and it's a good time.
But you haven't had to like race in front of a huge crowd yet.
Not a huge crowd, but at Works, there's always going to be a good-sized crowd there. They're all rad people who all have an amazing passion for the sport, and they'll all help you out no matter what. Nice.
Do you get to deal with Sean Reddish out there much?
No, I'm not up there yet.
Okay. Well, he's one of the guys that works. He actually owns Works, and he's a good guy. So just don't get on his bad side. Okay. So what is the deal at Works? They have classes above yours are what?
They have the 900 class, 800 class, and 1000 class. And there's pro, stock, and...
So there's quite a few classes.
Yeah, there's dirt bikes, quads, everything you can think of.
And there's a lot of cars in each class, right?
Yeah, in my class there's probably around 12.
Nice.
It's good size.
Yeah.
Are
you one of the, I mean, I think that the answer is yes to this, but you're one of the guys in that class that everybody's looking at like, okay, this guy's going somewhere.
I'm actually first in points right now, and we're having a good battle with Lincoln.
Yeah?
One of my good buddies, and we've been going back and forth, and
nice.
Hopefully in the end we can battle it out.
You know, it's so important to have that, to challenge yourself, to have that buddy that's also good.
Yeah.
So you guys are both doing each other a great favor, you know, by having that kind of battle. And it's interesting to watch these battles because they start in the youth divisions, and they tend to just carry all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
And before you know it, you're McGrath and Imig battling it out in front of 50,000 people at a Supercross.
And a lot of these kids that back when I started commentating the Core and Lucas series many, many years ago, there were just tiny Junior 1 kart racers that are now racing Pro 2s and Pro 4s and all this kind of crazy stuff and then Robbie's series too, the SST trucks. That's all like a lot of the kids that were racing those, but they're killing it out there, and they're still racing against each other, like you said, and probably go on to race trophy trucks and all that kind of stuff too. But hey, we're going to go take a quick little break, but a lot more with Seth. We're going to find out when we come back here, folks. The Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido. We'll be right back.
Ruin your good name. Take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
You're listening to Guy Talk, broadcasting live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I'd go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
It's not technically asking for directions if you use sportclips.com to find your nearest Sport Clips location, and no one will ever know. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor, Sport Clips, where guys go to get an awesome haircut while watching sports on TV. Throw in our relaxing massaging shampoo and our legendary hot steam towel, and you've got our MVP haircut experience. Your head will be as majestic as a freshly mowed Major League outfield. Try it today. Last caller, you're on the air with Guy Talk.
So how cool is getting a haircut at Sport Clips?
Oh, it's like stepping up to the plate and slam dunking a touchdown. That's all the time we have today. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
The one name you should know, the best place you can go. Toyota of Escondido.
It's official. Once again, the truck pros at Toyota of Escondido sold more new Toyota trucks than any other Toyota dealer. That means more smart buyers like you trusted Toyota of Escondido's Truck Center to find them the right truck for work or play.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
It makes sense to buy from the truck sales leader. Let Toyota of Escondido customize your new truck to fit your active lifestyle. Choose from lift kits, custom tires and wheels, and much more. Come experience a whole new way to buy your next truck.
Toyota of Escondido.
Toyota truck sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's North Carolina's own Cooper Webb, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido.
You're on, guys.
Welcome back to the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota of Escondido. Jim Holtis, Dan McGranahan. We're sitting here with our first guest, Seth Quintero. The Seth Quintero. Man, this kid's just killing it already. A champion in the UTV world, and you've already moved up classes. What are some of the short-term and long-term goals for you in off-road racing?
Short term, I want to go for another Works Championship in my 570 and hopefully be able to pick up another one. I actually won the 170 production, or the 200 production last year, so I want to go back-to-back, and that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And long term, I want to either do rally cars, because that's always been a dream of mine, or I want to go race some trophy trucks and go battle out.
I was just going to say.
Whoa.
I was just going to say.
Trophy truck word out there.
I was just going to say Pro 2 or trophy truck.
That's a tough one. Trophy truck.
Trophy truck. I like it.
What about SST?
I'm going trophy truck all the way.
All right. Think you'll do some SST if the opportunity presents itself?
Oh, yeah.
Have you met Robbie Gordon?
I have. He's
and has there ever been any talk?
We've talked. I mean, we've never said anything like too much to each other. I've met him and got a couple autographs from him.
Nice. Now, because they put on some races, and I think they're going to be having some sort of UTV races attached to the SSTs. I'm not sure.
Why not?
With the deals that he's gotten going on, I think it's Arctic Hat.
The UTV thing is blowing up right now.
I mean, it's
ginormous. Just kind of crazy, and you get to be on this sort of the cutting edge of this wave of UTV madness that is continuing to sweep all across the nation. It's awesome time to be a fan, and awesome time to be a desert enthusiast, off-road enthusiast, because the trophy trucks are pretty unattainable. I mean, and you can come get a killer truck from us, which is awesome, of course. But these UTVs, they're sort of like they're just manageable. You don't have to drive it every day, and it can be like built for off-road, and you can tinker with it and personalize it. And I don't know, man. They really hit something key there.
Yeah. And kind of what it's designed for. It's funny, like you go something like the King of the Hammers. This is something that right out of the box can go in the dunes. It can do desert racing. It can rock crawl, all that kind of stuff. With that said, is the King of the Hammers race something you've ever done or would ever like to?
I would love to do it. I've never actually done it, but I've seen Sarah go out and do it in her little Kawasaki. And
she waved at Robbie as she passed him this last one. It's pretty cool.
She knows.
Yeah, for sure.
She knows. What about that? There's like an enduro cross version of for the UTVs. So we actually participated in it. I don't know why I'm blanking on it.
Terracross. Yeah. Made for TV event. Great.
Yeah, Terracross. Now that seems like something that you could have some fun with.
Yeah. We were talking about it, and it'd be gnarly is if you did it in Ace. Because those things are already tipsy, and can you imagine like going over tires and stuff over those? I mean,
yeah.
Probably end up killing yourself.
What is Ace?
It's a single-seater, 570.
Okay.
As opposed to the Deuce, my friend. The Deuce.
The Ace and the
or
Deuce.
Or the Quad.
And the Quad.
Now, it's a great event, though, that's, like I said, made for TV, and you're sitting there doing laps in front of TV cameras, which your sponsors happen to like. Who are some of your sponsors? We know the Red Bull.
I got Magnum, which builds my cages. They're really awesome guys. Super ATV, who does my axles and some of my arms. I've never broken an axle, knock on wood, but I've never had any trouble with them.
Have you ever broken an arm?
No.
Good.
I don't recommend it.
Go on.
Knock on genuine imitation pressboard. Okay, that'll work.
Yeah. U2 Underground, Joey D. He's a really rad guy. We actually went out to dinner with him the other day, and
I know, I saw you.
Yeah, it's a good time talking to him.
You were over there with your mom and dad, which, by the way, happy birthday, Aaron Quintero.
Yeah, Dad.
Here on his birthday.
Man.
What better place to the destination of the show? Where else would you want to be, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're gonna go head out to Taco Tuesday, maybe.
Same place, I heard.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Nice.
Well, you need to, because we heard you weren't actually eating that well.
Shh, they're not supposed to know about that.
The people out there are not supposed to know.
The people under the stairs, why are we whispering?
Okay.
Hey, we just found out during the break, too, that he uses one of our sponsors, a big fan of Sport Clips, and going in and getting the MVP.
Yeah, they've always done my hair. Like, I always wait for a specific person, too. I'll go in, and I'll call to make sure she's there just because she does such a good job.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to have to call my guys down there and say, man, this guy needs another sponsor. Wink?
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I just want to throw it out for some of the boys watching us on Facebook.
What's up, Facebook?
My boy Kyle Bentley's watching, and he's a stud. And congratulations on Hangtown. That guy's doing some big things right now, crushing the world with his program. So, anyways, back to my man Seth. And if you guys are watching us on YouTube, no love lost there. We're excited to have you on YouTube also. For the guys listening to us on ESPN 1700 all around San Diego and Southern California, we're really pumped to have you guys here. And, of course, there's the guys that listen to us on iTunes that download the podcast, and the people that listen to us from Podomatic that download the podcast there. You pretty much can't get away from us. That's the deal. That's how we designed it.
Yeah, I usually just listen. Like, if I can't make it to the show, I'll usually just go on your guys' website and listen from there.
Right on.
Much appreciated, much appreciated. But, man, you got the front row seat. The next step here in your saga of the Action Sports Show is to come on and sit on the co-host panel one of these days while we interview other guests.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
What do you, when these people interview you, are they up like, so how do you feel after your race? Do you get that a lot?
Not really. A lot of them, they're really mellow, and I really appreciate it because I'm not old yet, so I'm young, and they take it easy on me, and they'll congratulate me, and it makes me feel better. Like, it gives me a strive to keep on going.
Nice. All right. A kid that's in touch with himself. I like it.
You mentioned being a fan of all types of action sports. What other things do you do? Do you bike?
Surfing?
Do you surf? Do you skate? What snowboard? What do you do?
I'll surf every once in a while, but I do snowboarding a lot with my mom. My mom always used to snowboard. She lived up in Lake Arrowhead.
Nice.
So I do a lot of snowboarding, and then I'll go ride some scooters with a couple friends.
So you are the epitome of what I was talking about.
This is
earlier.
it right here.
The generation, my generation, our generation, we're an action sports generation. We're action sports families, and we're raising action sports kids, and it's crazy because it's really never happened before. It happened, but it's happening at such a broad stroke at this point that it's crazy to see what the future is going to hold, how talented and dynamic these kids are going to be, and obviously he's one of them, and it's something special. So don't get a big head, though.
He doesn't. This kid is very thankful of everything that he does and always very polite, and you do a great job and carry yourself very well. I'm impressed.
So tell me a little bit more about Mom and Dad. They're both, one's a snowboarder, one's a former racer. Is that sort of the dynamic?
Yeah. Funny story. They met in a grocery store.
They met in a grocery store?
They worked together, and I don't know if the story's true, but I remember my dad throwing stuff over the halls to get my mom's attention.
Both worked at the same grocery store, or were just attending it?
They were both working at it.
Nice. What were you throwing over the aisles? Non-breakables, I assume.
Spices and.
That's great. Very cool. Very cool.
When the time comes, I feel like you're going to be able to get some good advice from your dad.
Throw some spices.
Right?
Throw some spices. I wish I could think of a creative spice to reference right now, but I'm just not a very spicy guy, apparently.
Right? Basil leaves. I don't know.
Some rosemary.
There you go.
Look at it. So you cook also, I take it?
Yeah, I love cooking.
You do?
Yeah, my mom and I cook every night.
Really?
Yeah, she'll teach me new things all the time.
I love it. I love it. It's very fun. Like I always tell everybody, if I could go back to school for anything, it would be something in culinary, learning that art. I'm infatuated by it. I watch all the different restaurant fix-ups and John Taffer and all these guys on TV, and just love the science and the creativity behind it.
My son's the same way. He loves cooking, and he's like, okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna bring my cousin over, and we're gonna compete in a Chopped episode here at the house, and you guys are gonna be the judges.
Yeah,
and we're gonna film it. You watch Chopped?
Yeah, but I like Cutthroat Kitchen.
You like Cutthroat Kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. That's cool, man, because I'm not that. I know it's a surprise, but I'm not that well versed in the kitchen.
So you are not the cook of the family?
I'm definitely not the chef.
In which it's funny, I am the opposite. So of myself and my wife, I'm the one that does majority of the cooking.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
What do you mean by that, feather ruffler? I know where you're going.
Check them out.
It's featherruffler.net.
Yeah,
3 Fs.
I bought the .org too in case you want that one.
Fleur.
Fleur.
Rough.
2 R's.
Fleur. 3 Fs.
Whoa.
Yeah. Right.
So,
do you have a website, by the way?
I don't. Oh, we're working on it. We have shirts, so we're gonna use it to really just kind of promote, to get my name out there more.
Yeah.
Not too much selling merchandise, but just to have in like.
Just guerrilla background all of a sudden. I don't know. How about music? Any instruments? Did you ever play any music things, or you're just a flat out singer?
Yeah, only singing, and I did dancing for a little bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of dancing was this?
Breakdancing.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Breakdancing is an action sport.
So, do you got the pop or the lock?
Not anymore. I used to.
Let me see. Stand up for a minute here.
Oh, gosh.
You walked right into this.
He's like, why did I even say
it's
it?
just right there. We're going to make sure you're still in the view of the camera here.
You know,
give me a little pop lock.
I'll probably break my hip. I'm too old.
Oh, please.
Break my hip. I'm too old. That's classic. That's classic.
Who's the dancer in your family, your mom or dad?
My dad.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So he teaches you the moves?
Yeah, he'll dance around the kitchen.
Was Dad a break dancer back in the day? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell.
Put the cardboard in the garage.
Nice.
Man.
He's like, do not call me up here.
Do not do it.
It'll happen one of these days. It'll happen for sure. Oh, that's classic.
I definitely had some cardboard on the floor in the garage as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty funny that
You know,
that's the universal term is the cardboard. Like,
I tried the head spin, and I'm like, you know what? Next time I should get cardboard. Oh, yeah, the good old days, watching the break-in and all that kind of stuff.
So what kind of driver's suit do you wear?
Ooh, Crow.
Crow.
Yeah.
All right, all custom sized and whatnot?
For the driver's suit, yeah.
What about helmets?
I use a Fox V3.
V3, all
Yeah,
right.
and I
It's
had
kind of a
Red Bull
moto-style
uniform.
helmet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what Robert Acer wears?
No.
No? I think he's
It might be the
close to
V4. Something.
Or 60.
Hey, just to go back on the dancing thing, UFC star Paige Van Zandt has made it to the finals and in round 1 killed it, maybe winning the whole thing tonight.
Wow.
Dancing with the Stars.
And other news that I don't care about. Just
What?
give you a hard time, man.
I know.
Relax. Relax, everybody.
It's all
We're
good.
here just to have some fun.
Hey,
we love
so,
Dancing with the Stars.
Man, super stoked you came in. Tell the folks where they can follow you, though.
They can follow me on Instagram. It's Seth Quintero _103. And on Facebook, it's an athlete page. It's just Seth Quintero.
Now, what's your next event, and what all events do you have coming up for the rest of this year?
This weekend, I'm heading out to Utah for another works race.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Sweet.
The people on Facebook are asking for a pop lock out of you.
I can't. I'll
So
break a hip, guys.
Why don't you just give them a little, like, pop, 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 pop?
Your fans,
A
man?
little something.
Oh, come
I'll
on.
break a hip.
Stand up and throw a little something down.
You're going to have to get up with me then.
Oh, no, I don't want to block the video. So let's just make sure you're in it. But I'm going to be right here. I'm going to be like, what?
Should I do the
Yeah.
wave?
Yeah.
You got to do the wave?
All right. Stop. Look at how he
Yeah.
stops. Kika.
Snap that thing off there.
That was awesome.
That's cool. So
Hey,
you
you're
did
a
it
good
for-
sport, man.
You did it for
Appreciate
you fans, so just
Appreciate
remember that. And you, and you.
And you, and you, and you.
So so you got Utah coming up, and then what's going on the rest of the year?
We're going to head to Lucas in 2 weeks.
Which is what? A regional?
No, it's the main series. We're going to go out and watch the trucks.
Oh, okay.
Go cheer
But
on RJ and
you're
Bryce.
not racing in it, but so
No.
that'll be in Mexico. But I mean, after your race in Utah, what races do you got for the rest of the year? Just the work series?
Yeah,
or
just works.
is there other single events that are coming up, or all the championships or that are done for the year?
No, we're really just saving the car for the main series. We don't want to break it or anyway or blow a motor, so
Yeah.
we're saving it for the main series. And yeah, just works all year. Nothing else yet.
And then next year, what's the goal?
Well, that's a surprise. We can't tell you guys that yet.
Surprise, surprise. Well, hopefully they'll come back and break the news right here on the Action Sports Show.
Yeah.
That would be
Sure.
very cool.
When
Very
you're ready
cool.
to break the news.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well, we wish you the absolute best of luck with your series, and we appreciate the support that you've shown this show, and know that we're going to continue to support you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Seth Quintero, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here right on the Action Sports Show. Thanks so much for coming out and talking to us. And
Thanks for having me.
we'll have you back on here soon. Don't you worry. So, hey, folks, we're going to take a little break. We are at the halfway point already. Are you serious? Man, where does it go?
Spinning wheels, man.
Spinning wheels, round and round. Folks, the Action Sports Show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
It'll rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? Catch
The Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota of Escondido, Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 1700. Featuring Jim Holtis, the host, the agent, Dan McGranahan. Get fired up by amazing guests from the world of action sports, such as Supercross star Cooper Webb, UFC title contender Dominic Cruz, FMX superstar Robbie Madison, surfer Tori Meister, musician Graham Nancaro, and more. The Action Sports Show brings you the biggest names in the action sports world. Tune in every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 1700.
This is Shannon Campbell.
Hi, this is Walker Evans.
Big Daddy here.
This is Jeremy McGrath.
Hello, this is Jay Leno.
This is Mario Andretti.
This is Carl Renazetter.
This is Rick Dale with Rick's Restorations.
This is Paul Tracy.
Hey, this is Sonny Garcia.
This is Trigger Gum, Daredevil.
My name is Paul Thacker.
Robbie Gordon here. This is Ryan Arciero of Arciero Miller Racing.
I'm Ryan Friedlinghaus, CEO of West Coast Customs.
This is Kerry Hart.
Hey, I'm Tanner Faust.
Travis Pastrana here from Nitro Circuit, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
Welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. And you know what, Dan? It is really cool to be sitting here live on our brand new grand set that Action Sports Canopies has provided and has come on as a large sponsor of the show and doing this all up for us. And we just got it up here today. And, I mean, it's not 100% done, but, man, this giant chandelier and everything else looks so killer. And thanks for those guys, Paul and Tack. Appreciate it, guys. ActionSportsCanopies.com. Go see what they got. They got some really killer stuff.
They definitely hooked it up. Yep.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my Facebook up and running again.
What's up,
here.
Facebook of Dan?
Got the killer Scotia magnet mount.
Yeah.
That has made this such a better experience. So now that Facebook has finally got it together and is working.
Man, if they were here and could hear this Scotia boom box pounding during the
boom
commercial
bottle.
breaks.
It's the boom bottle.
The boom bottle?
Yep. It's a bad machine right there, waterproof. So in case you throw up.
Okay.
Is mine waterproof too?
Yours waterproof too.
Like in the shower?
In the shower, yes.
That's what the hook's for.
Or in the pool, whatever, in the ocean.
I was in the pool. Oh, different story.
We have an amazing guest coming on right now.
Welcome our next guest on the show here. We're stoked to have him.
So much of action sports, we talk so much about moto and supercross and motocross. You know, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. These people that really help make the sport happen, and he's one of the pillars of that. And he's an agent in the motocross and supercross world, and he is very well respected by everybody. His name is SteveAldaco. Steve, welcome to the show, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
Stoked to have you in. Even though I'm surrounded by agents all of a sudden, I feel a little nervous, but it's cool.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not. Maybe they can get me a deal. Give me a hookup.
Here it goes. It always goes like that, right?
Right? Oh, you're an agent? Hook me up, bro. Hook me up.
How many times have you heard the show? Show me the money.
Right? Oh, really?
Oh, my God.
Have you ever heard that?
I have heard that, yes.
Jeez. Probably refuses to watch that movie like ever. Or maybe
I used to like that movie.
Likes to watch it. I like to, throw on Wall Street when I need to pump up sales, pump you up, all that stuff.
Right on, man.
Yeah. Right on. That Wall Street was a movie years ago. So, what do you specialize in?
I'm actually an attorney. That's my what I call my day job. So I specialize in corporate law, contract law, as you can imagine. A lot of civil defense, but primarily it's been focused a lot around corporate law right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of corporations suing each other?
Yeah, they do. They do, yeah.
Man, the whole law system. I'm just gonna gripe for a minute because you brought it up. It's a wild mess. It's the Wild West out there. It is a mess, and so many of these cases are settled not based on guilt or not, because it doesn't even get to that point. It's on leverage and who really can go the distance.
It's a business decision.
It totally is.
It gets factored into as a business decision ultimately.
Yeah.
Monetarily, I've talked about this with a lot of my clients, as you can imagine. Should we litigate? And you guys pay me a bunch of money to litigate, and even if it's a losing case, some people like to litigate regardless.
Yeah.
And then, there's a couple of options at the end of that where we may just BK the whole thing if we lose.
Right.
So there's a lot of it. It really comes down to a business decision. So.
And such is life. Is something I'm unfortunately familiar with. So.
Yeah. Well, then
you spent away chat after the show or something, huh?
Well, you mentioned the Wild West. I mean, I was straight out of law school. I went into the civil defense, insurance defense. So we defended pretty much everyone from companies to counties. So we really ran the gamut, and that was very strict and had a lot of guidelines and a lot of structure. The court would start at 8:30. I meant you'd be there at 8:30, sitting down, signed in, and then I went out on my own and did a lot of family law and talk about the Wild West. Oh my goodness.
Well, the level of emotion that you're dealing with there is out of this
that
world.
Is absolutely right on. So I was used to, not to minimize anything, but it's just money, as far as civil. But when you get into family law, it's kids, it's dogs, it's a lot of different things, and
it's hate.
It's a lot of hate, unfortunately. And
man,
the ones that make out ultimately are the lawyers, unfortunately. There are some people that are amenable, but a lot of it's just, fighting over kids and stuff.
Yeah, what a horrendous situation to find yourself in.
I got into that, and I got out of that pretty much as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So
you have some. I know you can't talk about it obviously in detail, but I'm sure you've had some experiences that just like curdle your blood.
Yeah. They have, and it's really, like you mentioned, emotion. It's funny because they'll give me the retainer, for example, and they'll think that I'm their psychologist or therapist or whatever the case may be, and they talk, and I'm, it's constantly
like,
billing.
I'm billing for this conversation. Do you really want to talk about the dog?
Yeah, once the monthly invoice comes around, they're like, okay, no more talking.
How much that dog was going to cost me that much?
I'll
it's just to talk about it.
I'll see you at the hearing. Yeah. It's a weird dynamic. It really is a weird area of law. And like you mentioned, I have kind of a funny story. One couple was fighting over a rug, of all things. And it was a cheap rug, and
not a grand Asian.
No. So I think it was the husband that got the new girlfriend, or vice versa. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was the husband that had the new girlfriend. The wife wanted the rug that was in the carpet, the rug that was in the garage, and he wouldn't give it up out of spite. And we finally said, just go do what you want to do on the rug, and then give it to her. He's like, all right. Instead of paying me thousands upon thousands of dollars, that was just a suggestion. Okay, that makes sense. Out of spite.
Wow.
Yeah. So leave that to your imagination. But
yep.
Anyway,
that is absolutely bananas that people would fight over a rug.
A rug.
Way to be a mediator though and find a solution for them, just because you're like,
right. That's the seasoned professional that he is. Right there.
It's just, and that was part of my downfall is. I keep telling them, you're paying me to go argue about this silly stuff. You're paying me a lot of money to just go argue about stuff. Instead of just like, let's go.
You say so.
So
now, how long have you been an attorney in law?
01 is when I got past the bar. And
nice.
So I've been since then.
Did you go to law school too?
Yeah, went to law school.
Because this is one of 3 states that you don't have to go to law school to pass the bar.
Yeah, no,
But you have to put in your time, from what I understand.
Yeah. No, I went the law school route. I did that. I actually used to work at a grocery store, Stater Brothers.
They just did too.
Yeah.
They met in a grocery store.
I heard that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that.
So start to finish, how long does it take you from concept to becoming an actual pass the bar lawyer?
It took me quite a while because I worked at Stater Brothers. I was making a lot more money than I would have when I graduated and got my undergrad. I was making way too much money there, working part-time. So I decided to go to law school at night, actually, and work there.
So you can do it part-time?
Yeah, you can do it at part-time. It takes 4 years. Generally, it takes 3 years. But I sped up my program because it was a little bit slow for me, so I sped it up, and I went to Laverne, so they were nice enough to help me out with speeding it up.
So did you literally go to a class that you sit down at every
night?
Yeah,
we didn't have a whole lot of online classes back then.
5 days a week? Do they even offer that online?
They may now. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but they didn't back then. So
you worked full-time, then went to school every night?
Yeah, I was very tired, very, very tired.
For years?
Yeah, for years. So, I got through that, and like I said, graduated, passed the bar on the first time, fortunately, and just off we went.
So you're doing this thing, you're a lawyer, kind of working through some of the different, like, lawyer stuff that you can do, like civil or whatever, and how does the agent come about?
Yeah, so
was that a master plan? Or?
No, not at all. I was just a big fan of motocross. My wife, Brandy, Her best friend is Shelly Antonez.
Okay.
And I'm sure everyone's familiar with Buddy Antonez, 5-time champion. And so we would always go, like I said, we were fans, and we would always go with him and watch him race. And then as his career was winding down, he wanted something else to do. And probably, as you guys know, it seemed like everyone and their brother was an agent.
And Buddy opened up an agency.
We opened it together.
Oh, you did that with him?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. I remember that, though.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure he was doing it correctly, because there are some requirements when you call yourself an agent. You can't just simply put a hat on and say I'm this guy's agent, or all these guys' agents. So, and a lot of people were doing that, quite frankly. So I want to make sure he did it right, and we started off with that. It was 3 clients. We had Chris Gosler, Justin Brayton, and Tommy Hoffmaster.
So you guys have had Brayton for a long time.
Yes, since the beginning. Yeah. Bless you.
Salute.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
So, yeah, and then like I said, Buddy was kind of finding himself and determining what he was going to do, different ideas, team ownership, team manager, those types of things. So we had committed to these 3 guys, and we kind of splintered off. So he was going into other areas, and I just kept the 3 guys and helped them out.
And what were you guys calling that agency?
I think just the agents.
The agents. Yep. That's right.
Yep.
But so you didn't keep the name?
No, I didn't. We didn't.
So do you just run under your law firm name? What do you do with it?
Right now, it's Aldaco Management.
Aldaco Management.
Yeah, so
okay.
I keep the 2 companies, my law office and the management business, separate.
Okay, gotcha. And so you've been with Brayton for that long, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did Brayton come out of the arena cross world originally? I think there was something about that.
He did. Yeah. That's where he's kind of he didn't take the traditional route like a lot of the guys do in amateur racing.
Right.
He did some amateur racing. Didn't start till I think he was like 14 years old. Went into arena cross. Buddy kind of took him under his wing and helped him out through there, and then he transitioned over to Supercross. So
well, he made a fabulous transition to that. When you see a guy like Brayton, and I definitely want to talk about him tonight because he's a guy of incredible character, incredible speed. I get the feeling like people have often tried to sort of put him away in their minds a little bit, and he just outperforms them and just shuts them up. It's happened so much.
It has, and I've had this conversation with a couple of managers of teams, because he's, I'm using my air quotes, he's been on several occasions the second guy. So on JGR, for example, he was the second guy to a couple of guys that were the first guy, but he always beats whoever that first guy is.
Right.
He was the second guy. He's been, like I said, characterized as the second guy, but he typically his
outperforms.
He's been outperforming the other guys. So.
I mean, his speed is just extraordinary, and I was actually concerned as a fan, like, okay, is BTO going to be a good landing place for him? I know he needs to go racing, and then it turned out they were going to get some really good bikes from KTM. I was like, okay, he can do something here, and he's shown some extraordinary Brayton speed out there on that BTO bike.
Yeah, this year he had a really good year. I've always been really proud of him, because he's always continued to progress every year, whether it's big steps or little steps. He's making steps forward. The only time he's actually taken steps backwards was last year, and I don't like to make excuses for anybody, but he had a lot going on. It was changing from the Yamaha to KTM. He got married, had a baby. So again, not making excuses, but he's the type of guy that really needs to focus, and it showed this year, because he really did focus coming into this year.
Yeah, he's such a great character, and I talked to you about this. For whatever reason, some of the great people that you would really want to have a friendship and hang out with tend to like to work with you.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I think part of it, my good fortune is that I don't rely on this part of it as a moneymaker. For example, I have a good law practice, so that keeps me floating and support my family.
So you can really make athlete-first decisions.
That's exactly right. I think, and the guys that I do have, that I do work with, and the girl Tara, I get to make it on their behalf, what's in their best interest, not what's going to pad my pocket the most, for example. Right. And I think that they respect that, and I think they understand that I'm out there for them, not just, to pad my pocket.
Right. I mean, obviously, it is a business, and that's an important part of it. But when you're leading people's careers, you're leading their lives, you have their hopes and dreams. There's a level of responsibility that you wouldn't be on this show if I felt like you were one of those guys that didn't. Yeah. Because I just detest that.
I appreciate that.
Frankly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? And I think you'd probably detest that as well.
I do. It's unfortunate, and I think it's It's not maybe as bad as it used to be because the number of athlete agents has really dwindled down, quite frankly.
Right.
So I think the ones that have continued on have some credibility. But that being said, that back then there were a lot of people saying that they were athlete agents, and it wasn't a good time.
It is a mess, and it is interesting because you got mechanics and everybody and their brother throwing on hey, I'm now an agent, and it's
right.
If you can't carry that talk, you can't even navigate a contract and remember what the contract was when you're navigating the next contract, so you don't actually conflict your own two contracts, which I've seen so many times.
Yeah.
Amongst all sorts of other issues that are out there, and always, flying in the face of these athletes, and they typically, I don't know, and I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Like the athletes, when it comes to the contracts, some of them are into them. Most of them really don't want to think about them too much, frankly.
Yeah, I think originally doing this with Buddy, our original idea was, look, if I have someone taking care of that side of it, I don't have to worry about that, and I can just focus on the racing. So that really is what my goal is for these guys, is to make sure.
But you got to have a great relationship for the athlete to have the trust in you to be able to do that and just disconnect. Hey, I'm going to go do my race. I trust that you're going to have my best interest in mind and get me the best possible.
And I think human nature is that they're always going to question what's going on. If you're taking care of their livelihood, for example, that I think there's always going to be some question, and they should be involved in that part.
Right.
They need to be involved, and they need to know that kind of thing. But to help them out as far as contracts are concerned, I do what's called a term sheet. So, they may have up to 6 contracts, for example, whether it's gear, helmet, goggles, and to make sure that they know what their obligations are and what they can and can't do, and just the terms, essentially. Instead of giving them a 30-page document, I try to break it down to maybe 1 page, just so that they have a handy sheet if they ever need to look at something.
Here's a 1 page of bullet points of the do's and don'ts.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, I think that's great, actually.
Yeah, I think it's helpful.
Totally, yeah. Because these guys, like you said, they really. They need to know, but they can't. They need it. Just
are they going to page 32 and going to section B?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Right.
That's a mess for them. Have you had any major issues where you've come across a sponsor or whatnot that it just either decides not to pay, or where you really have to kind of fight with these guys?
I've been very fortunate. I don't know, and I wonder if it's because I'm a lawyer that I haven't had to have too many fights, or if it's just maybe
because they know that you do live
I don't
in the
know.
ring.
I'm not saying that. I don't know, but maybe
you're not afraid of the ring.
Yeah, maybe, but either somehow, because there have been instances where they very well could have docked pay or withheld pay or whatever the case may be, and either they're just really good sponsors, or they just respect the fact that we shouldn't get into it.
I found that the majority of the good ones, even if there's a technical clause that would allow them, like, hey, he's been off the bike 3 weeks, he had a 2-week, and then we can cut his pay in half. They typically don't. They want to see the whole thing work.
Yeah. I think it's the level of team, because there have been the more factory teams, for example, they typically don't cut anything, and whereas maybe the smaller teams don't make as much money or don't have as much money to spend, and they're kind of itching to cut pay or whatever they can do just to keep their money.
And you understand also that they're living in a limited means.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because those are the guys that are getting paid less, obviously.
Right.
So they're the ones that need the money more. The riders. So, yeah, it's catch-22, I guess.
So when it's season, which season is coming up here for you? How do you prepare yourself for that? When does the silly season really start in your mind?
It starts earlier and earlier. It used to start. I remember one of the managers used to say, I think it was like
September
Redbull or something like that. It's the Agents National, where all the agents would go to this particular race, and now it actually starts earlier and earlier. And these guys, some of the really hot guys, are even signed for the following year when they're still racing Supercross in March, that type of thing. So. But right now is, I think, we're getting into silly season, and talking to a lot of people.
Is there an athlete that you've always thought, man, I would have loved to have represented that guy?
Monetarily, of course, you see the guys that are making a lot of money. But I've been really fortunate with the guys that I represent. Whether it's Justin Brayton or Will Hahn, Frederick Matt Bisceglia and Tara Geiger. They're all good people, and we've had a good relationship and a long relationship, quite frankly. So I think there's something to be said about that.
I am a big fan of every single one of your athletes.
Yeah, they're nice people. They're nice people, all of them, and genuine.
Frederick Noren, I actually look forward to meeting him because I'm married to a Swedish woman.
Oh, yeah.
Born and raised in Sweden.
Yeah.
And so there's this racer from Sweden, and to me it's very like, oh, I gotta know this guy. I gotta support him. Like, this is awesome.
Well, let me know. I'll set up the meeting. He's the nicest guy, and he's married to the nicest girl. I mean, they're just a couple of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And
I mean, I follow him on Instagram and whatnot. I see he's incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he did it at Hangtown, but I think he maybe had a crash or something. But I look, he's a great outdoors guy.
He is.
So,
he is. He's not getting as he doesn't have the type of support that
you really need to
that he really needs, because he is a great rider, a really great rider, outdoors especially. And he didn't crash. I think what happened is his can got smashed.
Okay.
And he didn't have a spare can. And like I said, just the support level that he needs. It's not quite there, but we're getting it. We're just trying to work on his program as well.
We're going to go to break. We got a lot more to go.
A lot more. Folks, don't go anywhere. More. The Action Sports Show will continue. We'll be right back.
Rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
Hi folks, Jim here, and I want to talk to you about Slime Tire Sealant. Racers in all classes of motorcycles, ATV, bugs, cars, trucks are using Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flats, including pre-runners. Smart teams are even using slime inside their trailer tires too. I mean, how many tires do you have? Think about it. Do you have motorcycles, ATVs, cars, trucks, trailers, wheelbarrows, mowers, and bikes? How many flats have you had in the last year? Maybe the answer is none. Maybe you're due for one. How much time and money can flat tires cost you? How about just the peace of mind? Nobody likes flat tires at all. Just pre-install Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flat tires. Slime is a liquid tire sealant that easily installs after taking out the valve core of the tire with the tool provided. Once inside, slime seeks out and seals punctures instantly and repeatedly and is guaranteed for 2 years. Slime is non-toxic, non-combustible, water-soluble, and does not void tires' warranties, unlike that other stuff in the can. Go for Slime in the Gallon for all your off-road tires. If it isn't green, it isn't Slime. Put trust in your tires. Slime, there's no stopping you.
One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's true. The best new cars make the best used cars. And Toyota of Escondido is once again #1 in Toyota certified used cars and trucks. Feel confident driving with the peace of mind of a 160-point inspection and Carfax report.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
You also get a 12-month or 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty from certified purchase date, plus a 7-year or 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty from original date of sale when new. Please ask for complete warranty details.
Toyota of Escondido.
Toyota certified sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
Hey guys, this is the Alabama Slam and BMX Pro Barry Nobles. You're listening to the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido.
You're on, guys.
Welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota of Escondido. Man, we're sitting here on our killer new set provided by Action Sport Canopies here in the new studio. So I implore everybody to come by and check us out here on a weekly basis. It's not just on the radio. Anyone's welcome to come by. Check us out at any time.
You have been implored by Jim.
Yes.
That's a beautiful set. I didn't realize it was up all the time.
It went up today for the first time, and Dan is now frothing as I'm implored. So that is, but yeah, it looks pretty cool, huh?
It does.
Yeah, they did a great job. I'm just.
This was our GM Scott's big vision right here.
Oh,
It would
looks
look
good.
like this, and a great vision it was.
Yes,
that's good.
For to see the plan come together. When I was going back and forth with them, looking at the size of this thing, is it deep enough? Is it big enough? I don't think it could have been any more perfect.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It really does.
Beautiful.
Like it belongs there.
Let's leave it up tonight.
Okay, so now I want to get on to another subject.
Oh, no. Are you going there
And
now?
this guy's a heartbreaker for me. And that's Will Hahn.
Yeah.
Extraordinary speed, extraordinary talent, and has just been fighting a rough uphill battle lately with injuries upon injuries. Sometimes I think these guys are in such a scenario that they don't have the ability to take the time to come back. But I look at Will, and he kind of looks like he does take the time to come back. So, what do you make of that? How are we supposed to digest what's going on there?
I don't know what to attribute it to, but a lot of it hasn't been his fault, quite frankly, which is even more upsetting.
Sure.
Whether it's something that's out of his control, in brakes, or something that's out of control, and somebody, like even the last one, I think.
Or a rider that's out of control.
Bike just went right into him. Of all the people on the track, the bike goes right into him. I mean,
right.
he's none the wiser. He's doing his own race, and you see a bike flying into you. What do you do to prevent that? So I don't know what to make of it, quite frankly. I just feel bad that he hasn't had a chance to show what he's really capable of, except for the year that he was, won the championship.
Because he just kind of starts getting back up to speed. It's not like we're even seeing his full speed.
Yep.
He's on the rise.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's the prognosis for him right now? When do we see him back on the bike?
Well, he was going to come back in the outdoors. I'm not sure exactly when he's going to come back now. He had another recent setback. I don't know if you guys follow his Instagram or anything. He T-boned a car on his road bike.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So there's another setback, and we think it's to be determined basically when he comes back.
Mm.
Yeah, not good.
And was he out training?
He's going about 30 miles an hour. Yeah, he's out training.
Yeah. Who's his trainer again? He was Fedoro?
With Ryan, yes.
Ryan's so awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
They've been friends forever, so yeah.
Yeah.
They get along really well.
So have you gotten out of the moto world? Have you gotten into some trucks ever, or looked at any of these other genres?
A little bit. I think because the truck racing has a lot of some of the old racers. I did help a little bit in that, and actually represent Brian Deegan as an attorney, not as his agent.
Mm-hmm.
We've helped him out for quite a while, just as part of the mental militia. He's half and half. So I don't help him out in his truck racing or anything like that, but I've been involved, I guess, in other ways.
Sure. All right.
He just had a big win this last weekend in Utah, man.
Yeah, and he's changed. A big sponsor of his is now NOS, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm podium in the in Arizona in the rally car.
Yep. Yeah. So it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So not too much surf, skate, snow.
No, not yet. And that honestly has been more a product of me concentrating on the law practice. It's actually getting a lot busier lately. It's been very, very steady over the years, and for whatever reason, it's blowing up recently. So it's been really good.
So do you see yourself ever like really taking the management side and going, you know what, it's time to hit the gas pedal on this thing?
I have thought about it in the past. I mean, it's kind of cut bait and run or get more involved. And I was really, to be honest, splitting my time almost 50-50 to do that more management stuff. But if I do get more involved, it would have to be with somebody else helping me out. I can't just do it all on my own.
Yeah,
I
fair
can't
enough.
be at the races as often as I'd like. The contracts I have no problem doing because that's just part of my daily job anyway. But to feet on the ground where you need to be, I would need another person to help out.
Yeah.
Especially because you have to dedicate still a lot of time to your law practice.
Yeah, and like I said, it's growing. So I'm
now. Is it your own practice and you have other employees under you?
It's my own practice. I do share space with another attorney who does intellectual property. So our practices kind of complement one another. I do a lot of corporate law. Those corporations happen to need trademarks or copyrights, or his copyright guys need a corporate attorney. So they really complement one another. And yeah, we have a couple of secretaries or assistants, and that works out. And it kind of it doesn't run itself yet. I need to be there and do a lot of the work. So, yeah.
I need to talk to your intellectual property guy because Jim is often stealing my slogans.
Yeah? Oh, yeah?
My radio slogans. Yeah.
You should have
And
trademarked
so,
it. Yeah. Sorry.
What's the deal here?
Copyright.
Intellectual property is such an interesting term. I mean, I know it's when you peel the layers back, it's a very important thing, but just the idea is so interesting. Oh, it was your thought, huh?
Yeah.
That's your thought. Okay.
Yeah. And you took it.
I took your thought.
And I'm pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just kind of like, okay, I know. Like I said, I know it has much more value than that, but
yeah.
we try to laugh at everything here. So
Yeah,
just
yeah. Keep it light.
Know that we definitely laugh at each other and ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you guys have a good time.
Absolutely. So, do you have some other athletes that you're thinking about working with, or?
I've talked to a couple of the up and comers. Some of them are still in the 250 class, and it hasn't gotten any further than talks just yet. So we'll see where it goes. I definitely do want to get a couple of the younger guys helped out. I'm not really keen on. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't want to help an amateur, but it needs to be the right fit. I think I've helped a couple of amateurs in the past, and it's really kind of not really worked out. I think that I think we talked a little bit before. They're kind of big fish in a little pond when they're amateurs, and then they expect when they get to the pros, and they don't. They still have a job to do, quite frankly. So, yeah, and I don't mean to be mean about it, but as long as they do their job, they should be getting whatever they need to get. But if they're not, then you really can't be expecting to get stuff.
And just because you did your job in the amateurs, you don't get the assumption that you're going to do it. You have to actually go out and do it, and then get it. The cart doesn't come before the horse there.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's exactly it.
With such a tight family, if you will, of your athletes and being so close and just such great people, how do you even consider who you want to go after or who the next step might be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've always liked to have my guys kind of staggered. I mean, you know as well as anybody, there's only maybe 3 guys that can win a race, for example, or maybe 4 that have won races in the past. So there's different levels, and I've always had guys at different levels. I had a real, it wasn't tough time, but it was a dilemma, I guess, when Justin or Will came up to the level of Justin a few years ago, and they were both vying for the same exact jobs. And at that point, all I could do was be honest with them. I said, look, I will tell you about all the conversations I'm having. I'll tell you exactly how they're going. But at some point, you guys got to talk to these, whether owners or managers yourself, because Roger DeCosta was one of them. He's like, Steve, I know you're going to tell me the same thing over and over again. You're fluffing him, and I get it. That's what I'm there for. That's my job, is to tell you all the good stuff. I'm not going to tell you the bad stuff. So I will tell you the good stuff about this guy. I'll tell you the good stuff about this guy.
No, Roger, there's genuinely no bad stuff to tell you.
But Roger, I love it. He's so honest, and
he knows.
Yeah, he knows. He's been around for a long time, and he's a straight shooter. He will tell me exactly how it is, good or bad.
Yeah.
And I couldn't ask for anything more than that. So, and I've actually had a great relationship with a lot of the guys, or managers, or owners. I think I was fortunate to come from the outside and not be one of the insiders. I had to kind of show them, and I would always come to them initially. No one knew me. I was an outsider altogether. So I'd say, hi, I'm Steve. I'm so-and-so's agent. And they're like, oh, and they roll their eyes. I'm like, I know, but I'm not that kind of agent. That was, my opening line. So it was fortunate for me that I had to meet everyone. They had to figure out who I was, whether I was genuine or not. And I think at this point, we have a mutual respect for one another.
It's like when Dan calls, it's like, oh, jeez, it's the agent.
And I understand that. I mean, we are there for a reason. We're calling for a reason. So
you're not looking at just the talent and the potential of these people, but you have to know them on this level to see if they're part of the fit for your team.
For me.
So do you have to know them for a while? And
I think you get a sense of who they are. I mean, whether it's a pretty small community, so you've heard about them, and you want to give them the benefit of the doubt. If they have a good or bad reputation, you still want to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I meet them. I'd like to meet their family because I think that says a lot about them, and we kind of go from there.
But like the amateurs, you don't want to deal with their mom.
No, but I think it's important. It's important that you meet them too, because you want to see how involved or not involved they're going to be.
Sure.
You're going to have to deal with them at
yeah,
some point.
at some level. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Have you had some scenario where a outside influence, i.e., a dad writes some letter to a magazine that just rips the team up one and down the other, and then you get to deal with it type thing?
Yeah, I've had some instances where and that's really unfortunate because it's not the rider's fault. You know, it's totally out of their control, and this rider could be the best guy in the world, but somebody else is doing some stuff that is
supermoto dad.
Yeah, and it's affecting not the dad's career; it's affecting the kid's career,
Right.
which is unfortunate. So yeah, I mean, all I can do is try and help the kid the best I can.
Yeah. So, the next Ryan Villapoto, obviously you would love to, just use him as an example because he was wildly successful.
Absolutely.
Or Dungy or one of these guys, who do you think that person might be?
I think at this point, I really do. I like Cooper Webb. He seems like a really genuinely nice kid.
Yeah.
Good kid. His family seems like they're nice. And he has a personality, which is
key.
Is nice.
Yeah.
It's different.
And tons of skill.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot to mention that.
That
Absolutely.
helps.
Yeah.
A lot of them have skill.
Right.
I mean, all of them have skill, frankly, at that level. What I see in him is heart.
Yeah.
And that's what's not always there.
See it.
Yeah. He's a racer. Like
Straight up.
He doesn't want to get second place. He is a racer. He's there to race.
He is there to race.
Yeah.
He is about the race.
Yeah.
And
I mean, some say he has a chip on his shoulder, but I like that. I mean, why wouldn't you? You want to go win. You don't want to lose.
You want to just
Right.
fold over? And, I'm cool with 13th.
Right. So, yeah, I think
I personally am. If I'm racing Supercross, Jim Holtis would be cool with 13th
Right.
next week.
As you should be. I remember reading this thing about Chad Reed, and they said, he said, I'm not a rider. I'm not a rider. That's not what I am. I am a racer.
Yeah.
And to him, it was very important distinction.
I think there is a big distinction there.
Right.
I really do.
And to him, it was like he wasn't hating on riders, but he was making it very clear that he is wired as a racer.
Yep.
And us, in the media and in the fans and whatnot, he really wanted that understood.
Yeah.
And I think Cooper is wired as a racer.
I agree.
Which has got to make it tougher for Chad when a year goes by like this with no wins.
Oh, no doubt. But I think he's still. He knows where he's at, and he's enjoying it as much as his maturity is letting him. He seems relatively mature out over it. He's been kind of throwing some fits over the last couple of years, so I wonder if he's maybe just to that point where, and we're sidetracking here, but where he's just ready to enjoy his time and know that that time is going to come to an end at some point. So better just have a blast doing what he loves to do.
Yeah.
I hope he's at that point.
Yeah.
So how do you? How about the other agents? Do you guys do you tend to get along with everybody? Is it a pretty good little fraternity? Is there some
fraternity,
some rubbing that goes on sometimes?
No, I'd say I'm civil with them. I don't know a lot of them again. I mean, I know them, who they are, and they know who I am, but I wasn't born in the industry, so I don't know them as well as maybe they know each other.
So it's not really a social sphere for you.
No, it's not like we.
You guys don't hang together?
No coffee, no having coffee together or anything like that.
So you're based out of Murrieta?
I live in Temecula and have my office in Temecula as well.
Okay, Temecula.
Yeah.
Are you a SoCal guy?
I am. I was actually born in Rialto. I don't know if you guys know where Rialto is.
Rialto, of course.
Not a nice neighborhood, but
no, man.
Is it Rialto?
I always called it Rialto. Yeah, Rialto. I think it's Rialto. Yeah.
You threw me for a second.
It's spelled
I was like,
Rialto.
Is it Rialto?
But I've always called it Rialto.
Yeah. That's why I was kind of like, whoa. But if he's from there, he probably knows.
I know.
They should do like a TV special. I mean, you made it out of Rialto to become a lawyer. That's like
no kidding.
Pretty small numbers do that.
I took my daughters there. We were going to go visit my grandparents, and I took my daughters to my old street, and it was not the way I used to remember it, I guess. My neighbor was still there, but it wasn't the same. I'm glad we moved.
Like bars on the windows or what?
Actually, more like, yes, bars on the windows for sure. But it was almost like there was every maybe third house had a permanent yard sale. I mean, it was just set up that way that there was stuff for sale.
So it's like a
all
mall,
the time.
a little mall.
Yeah, a little mall, exactly.
It's a little strip mall
Outside
neighborhood.
So if you want to live at the swap meet, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So when did you move
Me and my wife moved. So out of she was from Colton. It's a funny story. You mentioned that the previous guest, they met at a grocery store. I met my wife at my grocery store. I used to work in Colton, another small town, our neighboring town. And
women are always trying to pick up dudes at the grocery store,
or vice versa.
Come on.
Hey, my wife's worked at the grocery store for 26 years.
There you go.
See?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So yeah, no, and so we met there and dated after I was too old for her, quite frankly. I'm 3 years older than her, and we dated way too young for her. But so we dated for about 7 years.
You're way too old for her.
Yeah, well, that
were you 16 when you met?
Yeah, when you're 14, maybe.
well, I say that because I have 2 daughters now, and my older daughter is almost 15, and that's kind of when I first met her. Although we didn't start dating, maybe there's 6 months. So. Yeah,
and you can't imagine your 16-year-old daughter dating a 19-year-old.
Absolutely not.
Unacceptable.
It is absolutely unacceptable. There's no chance that would ever happen. Yeah. And they ask about that once in a while, so we just kind of go off on another subject. But anyway, we met and we 7 years dated. Then we got married. Just went through school and stuff for 7 years and traveled and started having kids after I got out of law school, basically.
So where do your kids go to school?
In Temecula. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, my oldest one is just going to go into high school next year, so 9th grade. Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, not exciting at all. Not fun.
Yep. The alien stage is right around the corner.
The alien stage?
Yeah, I hope you don't experience it. I haven't really experienced it much. Just sort of little tidbits of alien behavior, but nothing like I've heard some horror stories of basically high school, and then they don't want to talk to you. They want to know what you want them to know. They go into their room, they shut their door, and they become aliens for a few years. But thankfully, I haven't had to deal with that too much
might
personally.
be early bloomers because I think one of them's already going through that stage. So maybe they're early bloomers.
Well, I've implemented at my house the Dan law.
The Dan law.
The Dan law, that there's no electronic devices that live in your bedroom during the night. It goes out here, and they all go to the charging station, and that's where they live.
That is the case in my house.
Yeah, including mine. I put mine downstairs. I don't like to.
I call it face in the phone. You've had your face in the phone long enough. It's time to look at us and speak.
That's a great law.
Hey, we got to go take our final break, and man, we got a lot more when we come back, though. The Action Sports Show. Don't go anywhere.
It's official. Once again, the truck pros at Toyota of Escondido sold more new Toyota trucks than any other Toyota dealer. That means more smart buyers like you trusted Toyota of Escondido's Truck Center to find them the right truck for work or play.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
It makes sense to buy from the truck sales leader. Let Toyota of Escondido customize your new truck to fit your active lifestyle. Choose from lift kits, custom tires and wheels, and much more. Come experience a whole new way to buy your next truck.
Toyota of Escondido.
Toyota truck sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
You're listening to Guy Talk, broadcasting live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I'd go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
It's not technically asking for directions if you use sportclips.com to find your nearest Sport Clips location, and no one will ever know. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor, Sport Clips, where guys go to get an awesome haircut while watching sports on TV. Throw in our relaxing massaging shampoo and our legendary hot steam towel, and you've got our MVP haircut experience. Your head will be as majestic as a freshly mowed Major League outfield. Try it today. Last caller, you're on the air with Guy Talk.
So how cool is getting a haircut at Sport Clips?
Oh, it's like stepping up to the plate and slam dunking a touchdown. That's all the time we have today. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
This is Josh Slay. You're listening to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota of Escondido.
You're on, guys.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Action Sports Show, powered by Toyota Escondido Action Sports. One more reminder, if you're on the website, follow the social media, subscribe to the podcast. You can catch us here every Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30. And looks like we've got the little Scotia out here, the waterproof boombox. Thanks to those guys for hooking us up.
The boom bottle.
Very cool.
Scotia
the boom bottle.
Check them out.
Saying that again.
Yeah, this stuff's cool,
But
man.
they make all kinds of cool stuff. The mount with the cameras on.
The magic mount.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the good stuff.
You know
right
I'm
there.
a big fan.
That's the good stuff.
We're sitting here talking to SteveAldaco, and man, so
Esquire.
are we going to see you at Glen Helen next week?
We are, although briefly. I was just talking to Dan earlier. I can almost get more stuff done on Friday than I can on Saturday because it's so back-to-back, all the racing and everything on Saturday. Although I had a good time this past weekend at Hangtown. It was a good time, and the racing's outstanding in both classes, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You gotta send your boy Will and tell him we want to have him on the show next time you talk to him.
I will, and he loves talking.
We love to.
Yeah, he's such a good kid. And
Love it.
Yeah, I will. I'll definitely talk to him.
He's got some time. Come hang out with us on
And
the show.
I think he's the number one guy on that team.
Yeah.
So we don't know when he's going to come back. So we don't need to worry about sort of dreamcasting about him. But man, he's already had a pretty storied career. And his brother. Do you work with his brother?
I did for a while. Not anymore.
That's Tommy Hahn.
Tommy Hahn.
Tommy Hahn. Yeah.
You seen him out there all year at Supercross grinding away, trying to make those mains and stuff like that, Tommy. But
pretty cool brother to see brothers out there. You got the Martin brothers, the Hahn brothers. Are there some other brothers?
The Smothers brothers.
Oh, the Stewart brothers.
Stewart brothers,
yeah. Yeah. So
now,
what did you?
Did Malcolm race?
No, he's taking nationals off to prepare for his launch into 450 Supercross.
Right.
So, what did you think of the James situation? You heard me sort of lay into it earlier, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
I really don't know what to make of it, quite frankly. I mean, I don't know. There's something going on, something that none of us know what's going on. And nothing sinister or anything. It's just he's just not the old James that he used to be, and I don't know what it could be, though. Honestly, the only thing that I could think about would be is concussion related. That would be my guess if I had to guess.
Balance issue. That's why all these bail-offs coming on. Or
well, I think you're not seeing it in the first couple of. And I don't quote me. I'm not saying he has a concussion problem, but I just think it might be that because once your heart rate gets going, then you have problem with blood going to the brain, that type of thing, and it's not happening the first couple of laps. For example, it's a few laps in, and I think it's once he gets his heart rate up, he's maybe having a little bit hard time focusing.
And of course, he doesn't know that, but
I have no idea.
We're just sitting here like going, something's going on with this guy. We got to, and as fans, and you don't have to represent someone to be their fan.
Yeah, and I'm a fan. Don't get me wrong. I am definitely a fan. of
Yeah,
James
I want to
Stewart.
see one of the other top guys ever in the sport battling up there.
Why is my guy not getting it done here? So it's pretty interesting. You bring up an interesting topic, and a report was released, I believe, today about Dave Mira, and officially, what's it called, CTSD or whatever.
Concussion syndrome. I can't remember exactly.
But basically, the concussion syndrome, the same thing Junior Seau had, and a lot of these major football players. CTSD, I think, is what it's called, something like that. So they found it in Dave Mira as well, and so that's going to be really interesting as that invades into action sports now. People don't realize how often a lot of these athletes are hitting their heads.
Oh, yeah.
And the micro concussions.
Like these guys, like Burnquist and these guys. How many concussions have they had per event slamming on the?
Well, I mean, some of them are hitting their other parts of their bodies, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see this now become something that action sports and X Games and motocross and supercross are going to start to have to deal with. They've already dealt with it at a level of their own, of course. But when the outside world starts to kind of pressure you.
So that was just released?
Yeah, I heard it over the weekend.
Yeah.
But you have to applaud companies like Troy Lee, for example, and Bell.
Yeah.
They're taking a proactive approach to it, and studying the helmets and making them better. So I mean, you have to applaud those guys.
It's about time. I've heard a lot of talk about these soft shells, these shells that move and absorb. What do you have an opinion on those things? Or
I think it makes more sense. I mean, I think helmets originally, anyway, from my understanding, they seem to be made for street bikes. In concrete, asphalt, that type of thing. So higher speeds, harder surfaces, and to save your head as opposed, so you don't die as opposed to get a concussion. Where the motorcycle riders are getting more concussions.
Right.
I mean, you don't want them to die either, but I think you need to kind of focus on the concussions, and I think that's where, like I said, some of these companies like Troy Lee and like Bell have gone and tried to make a different helmet, something that addresses those issues.
Interesting. Go back to the leather helmets that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about glorified beanies by any stretch. Believe me, these are helmets, but under shock, something's got to give.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't give, then it's just going to transfer the energy to the next thing that will give, and ultimately your brain will bounce off the other side of your head, and that's where it will be absorbed.
Yeah.
In anything, something has to absorb it, and.
Well, you see vehicles. I mean, they have crumple zones. I mean, they're there to crumple, not to, cave all the way back into the driver, but crumple and absorb that energy, like you said. So I think, similarly with some of the newer helmets, newer technology anyway.
With the kind of hair you have, you probably don't even need a helmet.
Thank you very much. You're beautiful, man. You're beautiful. Well,
our boy D. Campos over there doesn't really need a helmet either. But he does need some glasses.
Yeah, I'm there too.
Sorry.
I left him at home today.
I'm wearing them. I'm just
I'm
just being mean, basically. Because
feather ruffler.
Because they give me a mic.
Yeah,
and
you
I
said
can be
feather
mean.
tickler earlier.
Yeah, I was like, whoa,
we
different.
know what's on your mind.
Sorry, babe.
Different show, Dan. Different show.
Yep, right here.
Oh, goodness. That's funny.
Well, it's it's out now. I am the feather tickler.
Your hashtag is now changed, my friend.
Your pet name.
That's great. Classic. All right, let's get back to Steve here because we're all over the place. We're running out of time.
About 1 minute. Yep.
Man, 1 minute left. You don't really put yourself out there on social and different kinds of things like that. So I don't know where people can follow you, but maybe they can follow some of your athletes. So if you want to give a shout out, now's your chance.
I'd give the shout out just to the athletes themselves. I really don't like being in the front of the camera or in front of anyone. I don't like my athletes mentioning my name. It's just, I didn't help you race. You raced. You thank everyone that you need to thank, that kind of thing. So they all have their own Instagrams and Twitter accounts and Facebook. So go out and follow them, whether it's Justin Brayton, Will Hahn, Freddie Noren, Matt Bishelia, and Tara Geiger.
We didn't get into Bishelia.
Yeah.
But
we had Tara on the show a month or so ago.
Did you?
That was real cool. An all-ladies superstar of Moto edition.
Yeah, again, another good person.
Phenomenal.
Very
yeah,
good
absolutely.
Fun.
But we'd love to have some of your other ones come on like we talked about. And,
I'll tell them.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Steve, I just want to applaud you for being an agent that is truly athlete-first minded.
I appreciate that.
I respect that a tremendous amount about you.
Very much.
And I think that agents can disagree. They can be different attitudes. They can be all kinds of things. But if you are genuinely athlete-first minded, then you're okay in my book.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate being here.
Thanks for coming out to the Action Sports Show. And, hey, big shout-out to the Quintero family and Seth coming out. And it's Aaron's birthday, and they came out and spent it here with us. And, man, just totally cool. And, hey, thanks to all you folks for listening. Don't forget to check us out here every Tuesday, 6:30 to 8:30. You can go to theactionsportshow.com for more information. Follow the social media. Download the podcast. Hey, this weekend, you talked about it earlier, round 2 Pro Motocross at Glen Helen. This Saturday. Sunday, UFC Fight Night, Almeida versus Garbrandt. It's going to be awesome. And, man, we're even getting that much closer to the next big main UFC event too. So, hey, from all of us here at the Action Sports Show, hope you have a great week. Remember, don't text and drive. We'll see you next time right here, the Action Sports Show. Have a great week.